All right. So settling in, finding balance between right and left, and also between back and front. So sometimes it helps just to rock a little bit to orient yourself in your body, more fully into your center. And as you settle into your center, just allow your hands to rest on your legs, let your eyes close. Feel the center of your chest gently drawing up, the shoulders releasing down. Settling in, feeling in, arriving in yourself. Fully showing up to this invitation. And the invitation that I'd like to offer you today is just this invitation to let your love lead the way. Whatever that means for you today as you relate to your own body, as you connect to your own breath, maybe even as you formulate intentions, letting your love lead the way. You might find that it's helpful to bring one or both of your hands to your heart. Inviting the presence of your heart to come not only forward and upward in your body, but to come forward and upward into your scope of awareness. Feeling your breath circulating within and around your heart. And I'd like to offer you a reflection on what truly feels like an act of love towards yourself. So of course there's this practice. I think we're all in agreement that our practice is an act of love towards ourselves. But what else? What else is an offering or act of love towards yourself? It's like you to feel into that now. Whether it's something you do on a daily basis or something that you are envisioning or calling in for yourself, or something that you've kind of fallen out of sync with that you want to reconnect with. But what is an act of love towards yourself? How do you show your love to yourself? And on your next inhalation, softly open your arms out to your sides with your palms up and your elbows bent. starting to feel the field of the heart expanding beyond your body. On the next breath in, reaching your arms all the way up over your head and lengthening through the sides. Reaching tall. Connect your palms together, and as you exhale, slowly lower your hands to rest at the center of your chest, with your chest rising up into your hands. And instead of chanting Om today, I'd like us to open our practice with the chanting of the mantra of the heart chakra, since we're focusing a bit on our hearts today. And that mantra is Yam, Yam. So just like we chant Om, we're going to chant Yam 3 times and just see how much you can really feel that sound reverberating in and around your heart, but also moving down, like you're able to, in a way, ground the energy of your heart deeper into your body and have it help you to feel more connected to the earth. So beginning with a deep breath in. Bow your head to your heart and release your hands to your legs. Let your eyes stay closed as you raise your head and open your eyes, and then stretch out your legs to your sides. Feel free to use your hands behind you to give you a little bit of a lift. And take a moment to check. Invite you to come up to stand and clear your mat off. If you've got socks on, you can take them off. And I'm gonna get the sound figured out here. Okay, I think we're good. All right, oh, there we go. Okay, so let's just start super simple. As you stand with your feet right underneath your hips, take your arms out to your sides, sweep them up over your head, lift your toes, lift your arches, lift your fingertips. And then as you exhale, release the toes, keep the arches lifted, and just relax the arms down. Inhale, opening, and just feel like this is a process of clearing the space around you. Clearing it out so you can fill it up with whatever you choose. Okay, so just taking your time. Inhale, arms reaching, chest lifting, outer shoulder blades lengthening up. And then exhale, softening the shoulders down, feeling the crown of the head lift. And then this time, next time you rise up, come up onto your toes, lifting up through your heels, finding your balance, drawing your ankles together, and then exhale, lower the heels and lower the arms. Inhale, rising up, starting to warm up your legs a little bit. Exhale, lowering back down. A couple more times like that. Staying centered, staying balanced, staying focused, rising up as you breathe in. And then releasing down as you breathe out. Let's take the feet just a little bit wider, maybe just slightly wider than your hips. You're still going to have your toes pointed forward, and you're going to begin with your palms back. So as your palms go back, don't let your chest come forward. See if you can keep your chest lifted as your palms go back, and start to feel a little bit more into the heels. So without thrashing your knees back, keep your kneecaps lifted, your quads engaged here, your tail a little untucked, pressing your palms back, lifting your chest. And then as you exhale, you're going to reach forward as you drop down, and then inhale, lifting your chest and rising back up. Exhale, reach and drop. Inhale, rise. Good. Notice if your knees are kind of moving out, and I want you to see if you can have your knees moving forward as your tailbone and sitting bones go back. Just knees moving directly forward. You can even squeeze your legs in a little bit. And by no means do I want you to feel any strain in your knees. So sometimes if you have a little bit of strain in your knees, you need to either bend your knees less, or you need to bring your weight a little farther back into your heels. So you can just start to feel that energy moving back into your buttocks and out of your knees. Okay, so remember to really swing the arms back, and then swing the arms forward, lengthen through the back of your neck. Just welcoming the warmth in, especially if you're in 25-degree weather. That's like so foreign to me now. Just like forgot what that is, even though I grew up with it. Okay, let's do one more time. Taking it slow, being really mindful with the positioning of your feet. And then take your arms all the way up and hold on to your elbows. Really ground. Feel yourself super steady through your feet, really strong and long through your legs. So heels are grounded, arches are lifted, kneecaps are rising, tail can relax a little back. Let's do a little side bend over to the right as you reach the left elbow up. You might even find that you can rest your head on your right arm. Maybe, maybe not. Good. Stand really firmly down into that left leg, and even let your left hip move out to the left side a little bit. You could even bend your left knee and lean a little bit more out to the side if you want to. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, release the arms. Maybe do a little roll with the shoulders. And then inhale the arms up. And let's see if we could cross the arms the opposite way, so the other arm on the bottom. So really drawing the forearms and the elbows up as you exhale, arcing over to your left side. At first, staying really grounded through your legs. Let the tail relax back a little bit. Chest stays lifted. And then maybe you even lean a little bit more to your right. Maybe even take a little bend in your right knee. You could even press your hips over to your right a little bit more. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Exhale, releasing down. Now I just want you to make sure that you have room to step back. So you can rearrange your mat, you can rearrange your position, but from wherever you're standing, I want you to have room to step back. And actually, I just want to make one little zoom adjustment while I'm here so you can see me a little bit better. Here we go. That should be a little better. Okay, so we're going to continue with what we were just doing and take it a little bit further. So first of all, just keep your hands on your hips for the moment. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, step your right foot back, maybe 2.5 feet. I want you to be able to have the right heel grounded on the floor. So right heel grounded, ball the left big toe grounded. Now we're going to inhale the arms up, and we're just going to bend the right elbow and hold on to the right elbow with the left hand. Okay, remember that you can, make any kind of variations that you need to make. Like if your shoulders are bothering you, you could even just lock hands like this. You could always go back to hands on the hips, but otherwise holding on to the right elbow. And I want you to feel how you're kind of getting into like the right side of your heart here and feeling into this whole pathway of that opening down through the hip. Okay, so holding on to the right elbow, we're going to do a little bit of a side bend to the left. Letting that right hip come forward, letting that left hip come back. You can start to now turn your rib cage to the left. You can drop your chin towards your chest to release your neck a little bit. As you arch your upper back and even lean your head back a little bit, even just a little bit. Big breath all the way through the right side of the body. Inhale, unwind, release your arms and step your back foot forward. Take a moment to land, arms relaxing at your sides, crown lifting, eyes closed. See if you can be here without any fidgeting or adjusting or anticipating or judging. One of the kind of common themes that came up in our share at the beginning of what feels loving or what we do to love ourselves up, almost everybody said something to the effect, something that includes being slow, slowing down, grounding, it's like all about slowing down really, whether it was like having your coffee in bed or drinking your wine or sitting in front of the fire, it's like most of us are not like, oh, I love myself up by moving myself really quickly and not paying attention, right? So it's just interesting observation that maybe informs our yoga. Okay, so we're going to step that left foot back now. So part of how we can apply that lovingness to ourselves in our practice is by moving slow. So take your arms up, you're going to bend that left elbow and hold on to it with the right hand. Chest is lifted. You can already hopefully feel that as you ground back through your left heel, you can lift up a little bit more through the left side of your chest. Okay. Everything is intended to feel loving and nourishing and supportive. So if it doesn't, leave it, skip it, do something else, change it. Let's do our side bend first. Just staying grounded and stable through your feet, lifting up through that left elbow. And then as you start to bring your left hip forward and your right hip back, allow there to be a little bit of rotation in your rib cage as you accentuate the lift of your chest. Accentuating the lift of the chest. Reach up through the left elbow. Breathing free that left side of the heart. That heart energy able to rise up and rise and lower down. Inhale, unwind, release the arms and step the back foot forward. Again, standing to feel, to sense, to be right here in your body. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get a belt. Anything like a belt will do just fine. And you're just going to hold on to that belt. It doesn't need to be buckled or anything, just something to hold on to. I'm just going to double mine up because it's long. And you're going to take that belt behind you, holding on with both hands, and invite you to kind of start with the hands just kind of on the outside of the hips. But some of you might find, like, if you have a tight or injured shoulder, that you want to be wider. You'll notice wider is a little more wobbly, but closer in requires a little bit more of you. Now make sure that you're not doing something funky with your wrist. I want you to really feel like your wrist can be relatively straight. Okay. And then we're going to pull down with the belt at first. Draw the shoulder blades in towards each other, rolling the chest open, feeling the crown of the head lift. We're going to check the distance of the feet, maybe a little wider than hip width apart. And then we'll take a bend in the knees and release forward with the arms reaching up, the head dropping down. You could even shake out the head a little bit here. Hands reaching up, pull your belly in and roll slowly back up. You could watch the blood flow change here. Okay, so we're going to do that a couple times. So notice if you're overdoing it, like if you're pushing, if you're striving. I just want you to be intentional but not forceful. Okay, so again, holding onto the belt, bend the knees, pull the belly in, coming forwards, head releasing, hands reaching up. So there's this opening around the heart, even as you come into a forward bend. You're going to pull the belly in, roll up, drag the head all the way up to standing again. And we're going to do it again. Okay, so you're going to hold on to the belt, arms stretch, chest lifts, knees bend, belly draws in. This time we'll stay a little bit longer, reaching the hands up, releasing the head down, softening the jaw, softening the throat, hands reaching, chest open. Some of you might even like to straighten your legs here. Now that you're here, maybe it feels good to straighten, maybe it feels better to keep them bent. Let's just take one more breath. Inhale, pull yourself all the way back up. Good. All right. So we're going to come down and create a little bit more opening down on the floor. So you might like to cover up about half of your mat with a blanket. If you're on a hard surface, as many of us are. And then we're gonna need a small pillow or a second blanket for the head. And then a bolster or a large pillow for the knees and legs. Okay, so most of you are familiar with this movement. So you're gonna curl up on your side. And as you get onto your side, I want you to make sure that your knees are right out in front of your hips and that your hips and shoulders are stacked. So that usually for most of us means sliding the shoulders a little bit back because the shoulders tend to offset forward because our heads tend to offset forward. So the blanket or pillow underneath your head should feel a little bit too low to begin with. So it's maybe not quite as high as it would be if you were going to be on your side for a while, because we are going to be turning the chest and rolling the head back, and it's nice to have a little bit less height when we do that. So we're just going to begin with the top arm, making a nice big circle. And of course, you can always bend the elbow if you've got a sticky shoulder, a shoulder that needs more love. And sometimes it actually just feels kind of more fluid, more feminine, more yummy to bend the elbow. So do what feels right for you. If you notice that your hips and your knees are moving, it means that you're letting the movement go down your spine too low. So I want you to keep that movement pretty much from the rib cage up. And everything moves from the rib cage up. So your head gets to move, your shoulders get to move, your ribs get to move. And if you notice yourself continuing to hit one of your props, something's getting in your way, you can move that too. And of course, your circles could also be smaller. Like for instance, maybe for some people it feels better to just kind of reach up and circle like this. Or maybe just to circle like this. So there's lots of ways to do it. But I invite you now to go in the opposite direction. Sometimes it's hard to even remember what the opposite direction is. So lots of breath, lots of gentleness, lots of ease and kindness. I love that kind of metaphor of reading the newspaper, the whole entire newspaper, but starting with the comics or the cartoons and letting that energy, that sense of humor, that softness kind of filter all the other information. And you can kind of think of that like as a metaphor for your practice. Like you're taking in all the information of being in your body, but you're taking it in with a lightness, with some levity and a sense of humor, and not taking it too seriously. Let's take a moment to shake out the arm, reach it up. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, just set that arm on your side body for a moment or wherever it feels good, and just notice the sensation in that shoulder. All right. You can just roll over to your other side, or like me, if you want to keep facing the screen, you can do a little 180, but move with care, with love, with gentleness over to your other side. As you get onto the other side, again, make sure there's in alignment with your shoulders right over your hips, that you have a moderate amount of height underneath your head, and you wiggle out that underneath arm. Knees are up around the height of the hips, and then the circle. Being open to the new experience of this side. See what there is to explore, to discover. See how kind and loving you can be as you're moving. Every movement, every breath, every shape is an offering of love to your body. Sometimes it helps to make sounds that sound like you're having a loving experience, like you're getting a really good hug from someone you haven't seen in a long time. Or a foot massage. Or that first sip of coffee in the morning in bed. Let your circles reverse in the other direction. And keep listening. So your attention is actually a subtle form of love. We were exploring this on Tuesday. It's kind of my new motto in life, my new focal point. Attention is a subtle form of love. So how much can you give your love through simply paying attention? Paying attention to the shoulder, to the ribs, to the upper back, to the neck, to the tone of your jaw, even to the tongue. And then reach the arm up and give it a good shake. Shake it out as much as you can. And then just drop it and let it rest. And then from here, we're going to slide that bolster out from in between the knees and press ourselves up to hands and knees. And as we get onto hands and knees, let's just feel into that freedom that we just established in the ribs, coming through the cat stretch. So you might like to still have a blanket under your knees as you move through the cow stretch and the cat stretch, with this sense of doing less from your head and more from your heart. Can you feel your heart leading the way, lifting up as you inhale? And even if you can imagine this, the energy of the heart lifting that lifts the head. And then start to feel the heart pulling into the back body, and notice how that encourages the head to release down. So just a few more times in this way, moving from your heart. Opening the back of the heart on the exhale. Opening around the front of the heart on the inhale. Let's make that movement a little juicier. You're going to slightly open your knees, bring your big toes together, bring your wrists a little forward from your shoulders. And we're going to roll back on the exhale. And then we're going to draw the heart down as if we're sweeping the heart across the floor. And then as the chest reaches the hands, we're pressing up. So again, heart moves into the back body, head releases, going towards the earth, making contact, bringing your heart forward along the earth, slowly pressing up. And continue at your own pace, that nice fluid, juicy cat stretch. And what makes it loving is when you're doing it according to what feels best for your body. And you're doing it in a way that feels loving and giving, attentive, full of presence. Take your time. And with your next exhale, land yourself back in child's pose. Dropping your head and your heart towards the earth. And seeing if you can feel the three-dimensionality of your breath around your heart here. Front, back, sides, top, bottom. Expanding your breath all around your heart. Take your time rising back up to hands and knees. Make sure you have room to land your feet on your mat as we transition into a downward dog. And in downward dog, we're going to once again maintain a connection to the heart. And I want you to kind of like what we did in the cat stretch, but see if you can feel the heart and belly connection here. What we're going to do is draw the heart into the back body, pull the belly into the back body, and then roll the heart forward, coming into a little plank. And then we're going to pull the heart up, roll it back, going back into downward dog. And roll the heart forward into plank. And then roll the heart back into dog. So see if you can really do it with a roll in your spine, not just a hinge at your shoulders and hips. Pull the heart into the back from downward dog. Lift the heart through the back body as you lift the belly. Draw the heart forward into plank and then roll it back into dog. Let's just do that one more time. Legs stay strong. Arms are long. Energy's moving into the back body. And as you come into downward dog, you're going to slowly bend your knees and walk your hands towards your feet. So you're coming into a standing forward bend, letting your head release. Bend your knees, round your back, and suddenly we're rolling back up to standing again. So, wanted to do something a little different today. We're going to bring in our voice and just bring in a little bit of swaying movement. This is, to me, one of the most nourishing practices that I do for my heart. And as we're heading into what some of us can just treat as like this super cheesy commercialized, Hallmark holiday. I've just am enjoying appreciating the opportunity to be more connected to love. So what I'd like you to do, what I'd like to invite you to do is just place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Some of us might even think of just relating to that, relating to our womb, to our source of creativity, which is another act of incredible love in many ways, however that gets expressed. And I'd like you to have a little bend in your knees and a little sway in your hips. It's kind of like you're slow dancing with yourself, okay? And then I'm going to play some of a favorite piece of music for you. And I want you to just keep swaying. And this is powerful both going inward with your attention as well as actually keeping your eyes really soft on the screen and watching the other people swaying with you. So either is good, just be intentional, either gazing at your circle or gazing within at your heart. And just come with me, and there's going to be some beautiful sound, and you might find that you want to hum along with this beautiful sound. So this is a practice of, and some of you have done this with me before, this or done it in other ways. This is a practice of settling your nervous system and soothing your heart with your voice. It'll be very easy to pick up on it. Feel yourself feeling yourself, like really being with yourself, giving yourself the attention that you deserve, letting your feelings arise, just being with whatever is here right now, with yourself and with us. Going into deeper presence with yourself, with your body, letting your body sway, letting your body feel, experiencing what it is to offer yourself love and soothing sound. from your body, letting yourself transition into stillness, closing your eyes if they're open, and just feeling into the resonance of that practice. We're going to do one more thing standing since we're here, which will be a forward bend, a standing forward bend. So I invite you to collect as much support as you might need to be able to do a standing forward bend with your head and maybe even your arms supported. We're going to do it with our legs wide. So sometimes maybe what works is to, if you don't have two bolsters, to put your blocks underneath your bolster like this. And then we're going to take the legs wide. We're going to come in, release the head down. If possible, releasing the forearms. You can also do this using a chair. Sometimes that feels easier, or a low table, or your couch, or the edge of your bed. Feet wide. You can even turn your toes in and your heels out. You can see what feels best. Take a moment to lift up all the toes, to activate the arches. Really spread out the toes nice and wide as you set them back down. So you can feel really rooted, really grounded, really stable. As you release your spine from your pelvis. And once again, feel the flow of the breath 360 degrees around your heart. Often forward bends are a good place to go. We need a little space to drop a little deeper in, to feel what's here to be felt. Slow breaths. Breathing into the back of the heart, the sides of the heart, above and below the heart. Keep your head heavy and slowly ground your palms into whatever support has been beneath your arms. Lifting the chest without lifting your head. And then just heel toe your feet slowly back in towards each other, bending the knees, round the back. And gently take your arms up over your head. Once again, nice and slow. Be mindful of circulation shifting quite a bit as we go from being down to being back up. Once again, bring the hands to the elbows and just take an easier, even easier side bend to the right. Inhale back up, an even easier side bend to the left. You've been tenderized and opened. You don't need to work very hard right now. Inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, release the arms all the way down. All right, so I'd like us now to come down and like to offer a supported, kind of bigger, or not bigger, but longer held opening around the heart. So what I'm going to suggest, this is sort of a variation of many different things that we often do, is to take one blanket folded so that it's a long rectangle that's narrower than your torso and about as long as your arm. You're going to lay that guy down. And then we're going to take another blanket, or this could be also a towel. This one doesn't have to be very big. But we're going to take another blanket and we're going to make just a small roll. It doesn't have to be a very thick roll. So I'm using like the thinnest blanket I have. And I'm maybe rolling it so that it's like the roll itself is just like a few inches around. It's not a very big roll. And I'm going to place that on top of the other one, maybe about kind of 2/3 of the way towards the top here. This will all come together and get clear once we're there. Then we want to have one more blanket, a third blanket. Actually, I'll use this one because it'll be easier to see. That's going to go just beyond the second one. So notice how there's a little bit of space between these two. That's super important. Okay. So I'm going to keep the loose part of my second blanket. I'm going to keep that part moving away from the third blanket, and I'm going to keep it kind of neat, right? And the third one might end up actually needing to be a little thicker than usual. So I'm going to fold that maybe an extra fold, because what we're going to be doing is, as some of you probably have a sense here, is we're going to be laying the upper back, like right behind the heart. We're going to lay that over this one. The shoulders and arms are going to go right here, and then the head is here. And then just get a sense of what you imagine you might want to have for your knees. So some of you might like to have your legs totally stretched out over a bolster. Some of you might like to have a blanket or pillow underneath each knee, block underneath each knee, and do kind of more like a butterfly Baddha Konasana situation like this. So feel free to choose your own adventure with your legs. And I'm seeing some of you getting your layers on because you're anticipating cozying in. That's great. You can get your eye covers, your extra fuzzy blankets, your kitty cat, whatever you need to help you feel like it's time to relax. And going to lay yourself back, and then it's going to maybe take a little bit of wiggling. I'm kind of blown away that my roll was actually exactly where I wanted it, but don't expect that to happen. So again, your arms are in between the last two blankets, and your chest is just pressed up a little bit extra by that roll. And remember, you can always reduce that roll. You can always make it less if it feels like too much. And then you can always change your mind about what your legs are doing. Sometimes it feels good to start in Baddha Konasana like I am, and then after a little while you're like, okay, I'm over that, and I just want to stretch them out. It's nice to have the head elevated in a way where the neck feels super relaxed, so you can support the whole neck here. Remember that if you have shoulder issues, sometimes it's helpful to elevate the wrists and hands on that side or on both sides. So I'm going to come take a look, see what I can see. All right. So again, just make sure that you are super cozy. That is the most important thing here. Really cozy and comfortable. You might even just like to settle in with a few soft hums or yawns or cleansing breaths. Might feel good just to hear the sound of your own voice calling yourself into relaxation right here in this moment. I do invite you to see how it feels to bring a little bit of a smile onto your face. Shining the light of your own attention inward. You know what it's like when someone gives you the gift of their awareness, the gift of paying attention to you. And see what that is to offer that attention to yourself. What a gift, this opportunity to let go and be held. Held by the props, held by our circle, held by the earth. Held within your own heart. And just as you're held, feel yourself letting go. Letting go into the sensation of being held. So much going on. Feel yourself dropping into your own center. Your own experience of softness and ease. Your own calm in the eye of the storm. And you notice that your mind drifts and gets lost in thought. Return to offering your own attention as a subtle yet profound gift of love. There's nothing to avoid, to fix, or change. There's nowhere to get to. Nothing that needs to be done or undone. This is it. Just being right here with yourself as you are. Feeling into the longing in your body. Is there a longing to stay and drop deeper? Or is there a longing to shift and change shapes? Let your body choose which way you go. And if you are going to move, I invite you to just really, really slowly roll yourself over to your side. Just super, super, super slow. And from your side, use your arms to bring yourself up. And for those that are moving, I'm going to suggest we set up our Shavasana in a similar way to how we did recently, with support for the kind of outer shoulder and elbow. So we're going to have one blanket for the head, and then two blankets or towels, or even they could even be kind of thinner pillows And those are going to go on each side of the mat, kind of like this. So you're creating a little space in between those two blankets, which is where your torso is going to go. And then figure out what kind of height you want to have underneath your knees, what that might look like for you. And again, whatever other cozy accoutrement you might like to have. And we're gonna snuggle into that space, and the intention of these blankets or small pillows at your sides are that they kind of wrap around to your outer shoulder blades, and then you can easily rest your elbows there, and then it makes it even easier for you to rest your hands on your body. Make sure that your head has just the right amount of height so that your chin can drop towards your chest and your forehead is a little bit higher than your chin. If you have glasses on, this is a good time to remove them. And just feeling into the place where you would most like to rest your hands as we all get settled into Shavasana. And I'm just going to give you the option to just do a few very simple self-massage techniques as a way of offering just a little bit more love to yourself. So you can just even follow along with me in your mind and just feel that relaxing energy coming into you without doing anything at all. Or you can follow along with me, but I do want to invite you to keep your eyes closed. So just beginning with the heel of your hands at the hairline and your fingertips kind of moving over the top of your head. So the heel of your hands right at your hairline, and you're just going to drag them from the top of your forehead down to your eyebrows. And you're just going to do that a couple of times, just the weight of the heel of your hands dragging from the top of your forehead down to your eyebrows. You might even like to do that with an exhale, just softening the forehead, letting this be an act of loving attention. And maybe on the last time it feels good just to let the heel of the hands slide into the eye sockets and just let them rest there for a moment, deepening the darkness, the capacity to go further inside of yourself. Fingers relaxed, face relaxed, body relaxed. You might like to slide the heel of the hands out towards the temples and just give some gentle pressure with the heel of the hands into the temples as you circle around there. Just really gently. You can just slide them down the outsides of the cheeks and right into the jaw. Again, just pressing the heel of the hand, or maybe now the thumb side of the hand, into the jaw. You might even like to just give a little pinch down the jaw to the chin. And then just bring the fingertips to the sternum at the center of your chest. And just a couple little circles with your fingertips, going as far down as your sternum as you'd like to. And coming to your solar plexus. So right where you're between your navel and your rib cage, and just finding that center or at the third chakra. Maybe digging in. This is a place that I always feel a lot of tension. It feels good to massage it. And then just bringing your hands down to the front of your pelvis. And the last movement that we're going to do is from the front of the pelvis, just like from the pubic bones and the front hip bones. We're just going to lightly sweep the fingertips up towards the ribs and out to the sides and up towards the ribs. And just do that a few times, lightly sweeping fingertips up from the rim of the pelvis up towards your ribs. Just a few times, nice and soft. And then just letting the hands land wherever they most feel drawn, letting them rest somewhere on your body. Again, as an act of loving attention. And feeling yourself settling deeper into stillness. Unless there's some other form of touch that you want to offer yourself before you settle deeper. Soaking up this opportunity to be still, soft, completely here in your own body, your very own body, your sanctuary, your temple, your refuge. Let the breath do whatever feels most natural. No need to try to be in control of your breath in this moment. Just let it be easy and natural, relaxed and comfortable. At rest and at ease. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Letting each slow breath be a gesture of love. And letting each slow movement be a gesture of love as you bend your knees one by one, rolling over to your side, resting on your side for a moment before you press yourself up to sitting. And then letting your hands come to your heart in whatever way feels good for you. Sitting with your eyes closed for a moment and really soaking up the juiciness of this gift that you have offered yourself. This gift of love and care, of healing and balancing. And then turning the hands away from the body, may we offer this gift of love as a blessing for all beings, with a wish for all beings to live in peace, with health, with happiness, with freedom, with equity and justice, and so much love. Thank you. Thank you for your practice and for being you. Thank you for sharing your love and your hearts with us today. And